Good morning. I'm Lonnie Lacey. I'm the Welcome Team Director at Willowbrook's Huntsville campus. Today's Daily Devo continues the story of Moses. We're in chapter 3. We're going to start with verse 11. This is right after God has said to Moses through a burning bush that's not being consumed, by the way. He says, "Now go to Pharaoh. I've seen the plight of my people. I want you to lead them out." So Moses, having spent 40 years as a Midianite, so let's work backwards. 40 years as a Midianite because he connected with those people 40 years ago whenever he helped the women at the well, as Pastor Mark touched on Monday. And they said, hey, this Egyptian, so there they consider him an Egyptian. Working backwards, he was an Egyptian or considered an Egyptian because he was raised in Pharaoh's household. He was raised in the palace, but he was born a Hebrew marked for death. So a Hebrew marked for death, raised in an Egyptian household, taught to lead, educated, all of these things. Then he kills an Egyptian and he has to flee to the wilderness. He meets the Midianites. Then he becomes one of them. They're like, hey, come be one of us. And he reaches this place where he's leading the sheep. He's comfortable. He's safe. He's not doing anything really bad. He's also not doing everything God called him to. So now this is the moment where God enters the story and at this point and says, now go, I want you to go before Pharaoh. This is what Moses says. Who am I? Who am I to go before Pharaoh and lead the Israelites out of Egypt? So here's my question. If you've been through what Moses has been through, would you question who you are? Are you a Hebrew? Are you an Egyptian prince? Are you a Midianite shepherd? Who are you? There was a lot of things going on in Moses' head, I think. There's a lot of speculation as to what he meant by that. Did he feel inadequate? Did he feel insecure? Did he find a place of humility that just said, hey, God, this is bigger than me. It's all you. Who am I that you would ask me? What an honor. Who knows what's going on in Moses' head? I do know that God did not directly answer that question. He went through all the details following this conversation, all the details of how this is going to go down, because Moses is like, hey, who am I? God doesn't answer that. He says, I will be with you. That was how he answered Moses. He didn't say, this is who you are, but he said, I will be with you. So then Moses goes on to say, but who are you? Who is sending me? They're going to ask me, which God is this? And God said, I am. I am. That is my name forever. They're going to recognize that. The God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those elders are going to believe you, and you're going to all go before Pharaoh, and you're going to ask to worship in the desert, just to worship your God. Pharaoh's not going to want to let you do that, but this is what's going to happen. I'm going to take care of things. I'm going to do some mighty works. Not only are they going to let you go, but they're going to send you with gold and jewels and all sorts of treasures, because they're going to say, we're so happy to see you go. Take this and leave. This is how God works. He enters the story. It changes everything. Later in John chapter 8, Jesus refers to himself as I am. He is God. This is God's name. He is the same God for Moses that he is for you. What is God calling you to? And are you before him saying, who am I to do this? It doesn't matter entirely who you are. God saw that Moses cared about the plight of the Israelites back when he killed the Egyptian. And even though that was a mistake, God said, I got this. Nothing is too big for me. Nothing is beyond my redemption. Nothing is beyond my power. And he says in Philippians chapter 2, he says that it's God. Paul says it's God that works in you, giving you the desire and the power to do what pleases him. And what pleases him is when we stand before him and we clarify all the things, but he comes back at us with, I am. I am the power. I am the decider. I am the doer. And all you got to do is obey. This is a matter of obedience. So what's stopping you? What's behind your question? Who am I? Is it insecurity? Is it shame? Is it inadequacy? Who knows? We all experience those things. You have to answer that for yourself. And then you have to know. You have to seek and know the God who's asking you, because he says, I am with you. And that is where we are dependent on him, where we are empowered by him. And he says, I'm going to do great work. And it's going to always be about me. And he will always get the glory. And you are part of that. So go before him. Ask him, what is it you want me to do? And I will do it. That's your step of obedience. Thank you so much for joining us for these daily devos. Stay tuned. The story gets better tomorrow. It just keeps getting better because Moses keeps being human and God keeps being God, just like us.